What's the story, Morning Glory? What's the word, Hummingbird? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this review of Inmate to Roommate Season 2, Episode 8, $100 Rage. This was a pretty decent episode. Let's get started with Mark, Annalise, and Vanda. So Mark has been out of prison for about a month now, and he is trying to find a way to sneak in a girl into his room. So he's talking to the girl, I think her name is Honey, and they're trying to figure out how is she going to be able to come into his room without Vanda or Annalise knowing. So he comes up with this idea to get a ladder. So he goes to the hardware store and he buys a rope ladder. He gets a lock, I guess, for the door so that nobody barges in. And he gets everything set up. And I guess the girl came over. She climbed up on the ladder and she snuck into his room and she spent the night. Well, the next morning, Annalise wakes up and she can swear that she hears voices coming from Mark's room. So she starts knocking on the door. He's not answering. He's not responding. She's banging on the door saying, I know you've got somebody in there because I can hear them. Mark says, what you're hearing is my music. I don't have anybody in here. They're talking through the door because he refuses to open the door. So Annalise is banging on the door, banging on the door. Vanda is in the background, not helping at all, just, somewhere in the background watching all of this go down. So she starts banging on the door. Finally, he opens the door a crack. And as soon as he opened that door a crack, she barges in. And of course, she catches the girl in his room. So the girl walks out and she's like, I don't want any problems. Annalise is telling her, you need to have more respect for yourself instead of sneaking into boys' rooms, in the middle of the night. I thought the girl was actually leaving, but she ends up just sitting and chilling in Annalise's kitchen for some reason. I guess the producers didn't want her to leave right away and wanted more information from her. I don't know. So when the girl walks out of Mark's room, now Mark has a chance to make a beeline to the bathroom because I think Annalise was following the girl and Mark made a chance. He had his chance to make it to the bathroom, makes a beeline to the bathroom. And evidently there's another girl in the damn bathroom. So Annalise goes to the bathroom. She's banging on that door. She's trying to keep the door open as Mark is trying to close it. It was like a complete mess. And the whole entire time, Vanda is like in the background. It wasn't until like the very end of their segment that Vanda decided to come in, I guess, and help out his wife. So my question is this. Mark has been putting them through hell ever since he came out of prison. As soon as he stepped out of prison, he has put Annalise and Vanda through absolute hell. Why are they keeping him? Why haven't they thrown this boy out on his butt? These girls that are so important to him that he's also allowing them to disrespect Annalise. Why doesn't he go live with them? They can't seem to be without each other, be apart from each other. Why doesn't he go live with these girls? Wherever the hell they're living at, why doesn't he go over there? Right, because those people wouldn't put up with these kind of shenanigans. Whoever the girls are living with wouldn't put up with this kind of nonsense. But for whatever reason, Annalise and Vanda are putting up with it. What are they getting out of living with someone like Mark, who has been nothing but absolutely gutturally disrespectful to both of them in the worst way, especially Annalise? I mean, Mark is so, he has absolutely no manners, no couth about him at all, no respectability at all. The way that he talks to Annalise, the things that he says to Annalise, like she's like one of his peers from the streets. He gives her absolutely zero respect, and it's her house that you're living in. Now, for whatever reason, Vanda, he likes to tiptoe around Mark and, act like he's trying to give Mark, all due respect, and he doesn't deserve it. He talks to your wife like she's gutter trash, Vanda. You need to grab this boy by the scruff of his damn neck and throw him out of your house. Like, I'm not understanding why Mark has been there 25 days with the way that he talks to them, the way that he treats them. He has no respect for the people that are trying to help him better his life. No respect at all. And it's not like, my other question is, whatever happened to people dating? Whatever happened to people dating? Like, you take a girl out, take her to the movies, go out to eat, bring her back home. Whatever happened to that? Why is it, come over and let's bang? Sneak through my window or crawl up to my window, and let's, take care of business. And then you leave in the morning. Like, whatever happened to dating? Like, I don't understand what the hell's going on, but Mark needs to go. I don't know there is no money in the world that is worth your peace of mind. and somebody disrespecting you and your house, it looks like on a daily basis. Like the way they edit the show, it's like Mark has been nothing but disrespectful to them since the day he came out of prison. Let's move on to Aaron and David. So, the last episode, which I didn't do a review on, Aaron took off in David's car. He said he was going to go to an AA meeting. So he borrowed David's car and never came back. He was gone all night. So everybody was really worried about him. David called all his friends, trying to figure out what happened to not David called all of his friends trying to figure out whatever happened to Mark. So the next day, Mark comes in and it's David at the house, and David had invited a couple of his friends over. And so they all confront Aaron like, where the hell have you been? And so he finally admits he didn't go to AA. He went to go see his ex, Lavanya. And so the friends were kind of like, okay, is that a good idea? Because, you're a recovering addict. She's an addict. Was that a good idea for you to go run to Lavanya? So he tries to let them know that, she's been clean for 8 months. She's no longer whatever, taking drugs, whatever her choice of addiction was. So the friends advise that maybe he, shouldn't be hanging out with her. So when they finally leave, Aaron gets on David's case about, why did you get my friends involved? If you were looking for me, why didn't you just call me? And David was like, I did, but you didn't answer your phone. And then Aaron said, why didn't you just keep on calling me? And David says, I did, but you didn't answer your phone. So that's why I was calling your friends to figure out where the hell you were with my car. So David revokes Aaron's driving privileges. He can no longer use the car. So David wants to move. David tells Aaron that he's thinking about inviting another inmate to come stay at his house. And Aaron is not feeling that at all. He's like, no, I'm not comfortable with that. I don't want to do that. I couldn't really quite understand why it bothered him that David wanted to invite another inmate to come live with them. But he wasn't feeling that at all. So he meets up with Lavanya, and ever since that the day that they hooked up, or the night that they hooked up, they've been seeing each other quite frequently. So Aaron tells her, David wants to move with another inmate, but I'm so sick and tired of being around dudes, because when I was locked up, I was around, all these guys, and I don't want to be around a whole bunch of guys, outside of prison. So what if you moved in? I mean, you qualify, because David is on this whole thing of prison reform and helping inmates get back on their feet. Well, you've been to prison, so you're a former inmate. You have addiction issues. You're struggling out here trying to get yourself together. So you'd be a perfect candidate to stay at David's house. So Lavanya's like, okay, I'm with it. So he tells Lavanya that what does he say? He says that, the people that David wants to invite to come live with him, they're addicts. They have all these issues, and they're just going to try to manipulate David to get their way. So he wants to find a way to convince David, instead of bringing in some dude, to let Lavanya come live with them. And I'm thinking to myself, so aren't you proving to be what you're accusing these other inmates of being? You're being manipulative. You think that David is an easy target. You think that he's a square, that you can make him do whatever you want. So aren't you kind of doing the same thing that you're accusing these other inmates of possibly doing to David? So he brings Lavanya over to David's house for them to do like a really quick meet and greet. So it's like, hey, this is Lavanya. She's my ex. Hey, how you doing? And then she leaves. So when she leaves, Aaron is like, what if Lavanya moved in with us? And David is like, kind of confused, because he says, well, I don't know about that. I'm gonna have to think about it, because everything that I know about her has come from you and your friends, and y'all talk so negatively about her. Y'all talked really bad about her. So now you want her to move into my home, and I'm not sure about that because, I don't have a really good impression of her. And so he tells Aaron that he's going to think about it. And I'm like, Aaron, don't do it. I mean, David, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. What's his name? Aaron is not concerned about Lavanya's sobriety. He's not concerned about Lavanya getting better. He just wants her there, a warm body next to him, so they can sleep together, and he can have his girlfriend living there rent free for a while at least. That's really all it is. He doesn't really care about helping her. Instead of having some dude, he could have his ex chick or his current chick or whatever she is to him, and they can take care of business. Moving on to Emily and Jason. So Emily has $100 missing from her purse. So she calls her son so that her son could come over and talk to Jason. And I don't know what she was expecting by having her son come over to accuse this man of taking money from her, because there was no way in hell this was going to end well. So her son Travis, he comes over. So Emily introduces her son to Jason. They sit down in the living room, all three of them. And Travis, the son, talks about everything under the sun except about the $100. He talks about how he needs to get along with his mother better. He needs to show respect to his mother's house, so on and so forth, but never mentions the money that Emily says is missing from her purse. So then so Emily brings it up herself. So she says, I had $100 in my purse and now it's gone. It's missing. And Jason is like, I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, he's acting completely confused, lost in the sauce. So Travis tells Jason that he just wants to come to some kind of resolution about this. Jason says, I don't know who the hell you think you are. I'm about 20 years older than you, and I'm not going to listen to some 20-year-old kid tell me what to do. So things escalate. Next thing you know, the two guys are standing up face to face, like they're about to throw down. Emily has to get in between them. The producers come out of the shadows to keep them apart. Finally, Travis leaves. So in the confessional, the producers are asking Jason, did you take the money? Now, Jason refused to just come right out and say no. Instead, he's like, I'm not going to dignify that with an answer. I'm not going to answer that question. So the producers are going to keep on asking, keep on asking, keep on asking. Did you take the money? Did you take the money? Why don't you just say, yes, you did, or no, you didn't? Just give us an answer. Yes or no. Did you take the money? So he gets upset. He never gives a straight answer. And he ends up leaving his confessional because of the fact that he didn't want to, he didn't want to talk about the damn money. You're looking kind of guilty, Jason. You're looking mucho guilty. So, what's tea? What really happened to Emily's $100 that's missing from her purse? What's really going on? Because they went to the tracks. He took her to the horse tracks and he lost his money. Now she's lost her money from her purse. Moving on to Cindy and Jennifer. So Cindy is complaining about Jennifer's lack of contribution. They went to the grocery store. They came out to like 90 or 80 bucks. Cindy looked over to Jennifer, like, how much can you pitch in? I guess Cindy was expecting Jennifer to pay all of it or half of it. Jennifer was like, I can give you 20 bucks towards that. So Cindy's really frustrated now that Jennifer is not contributing. I'm like thinking to myself, okay, she just came out of prison. Okay, she hasn't even been out that long. Like, what the hell are you expecting? Emily and Jason, Cindy and Jennifer are expecting so much from these former inmates. And I'm like, they just came out of prison. They have no jobs. They're trying to get their lives together. Who knows where they're at with their addictions? Like, why do y'all expect so much from these people? So Cindy wants her to apply for a job. And Jennifer tells us that in the past, she's never really had to apply for jobs. She just got real chummy with the managers at whatever establishment, and jobs were offered to her. So the whole thing of applying for a job and, interviews and all of that, I guess she's not used to it. So Cindy drags Jennifer to this gas station called Bigfoot. And Jennifer acts like, she was so unprepared. She, wasn't ready for this. And she's basically doing this out of duress. So she gets to the place, she sits down for her interview, and it's her, the manager, and Cindy's like right next to her. So she's like a part of the interview too. And Jennifer talks about how uncomfortable she was for Cindy being there like that. So the interview begins. The guy's asking her all of these, typical mundane interview type of questions, like, what is your definition of customer service? Can you give an example of excellent customer service, etc.? So Jennifer tells the manager her whole entire history, like she's been in prison, she struggled with addiction, blah, blah, blah. The manager tells her, well, as long as you learn from your lesson, I don't have a problem giving you a chance. So at the end of it all, the manager asks Jennifer, do you have any questions for me? And Jennifer, I guess, felt like, she was put on the spot. So she was kind of like, well, I can't really think of anything. And then Cindy goes, well, what's the starting pay? And I think the manager said like $15 or $18 an hour. And Jennifer said in her confessional that she felt really uncomfortable with Cindy asking that question. And I mean, I don't know what to say about that. I don't know what to say. I'm surprised that the manager allowed Cindy to be there as part of the interview. I was kind of surprised about that. And Cindy should have kept her mouth shut. to tell you the truth. She really should have kept her mouth shut. So I don't know. But, Cindy wants that money, and she wants that money like yesterday. She's tired of footing the bill for everything because her whole expectation was that Jennifer was going to help her out financially, help her out around the house. And the financial part has not happened. And Jennifer, she's out here faking relapses and in and out of Cindy's house. So I don't even know how much she's really helping around the house. Anyway, that's my little review. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. On your way out, please don't forget to rate the video. If you like this content, please subscribe to my channel, and I will definitely talk to you later. Bye.